David will receive his Bachelor of Business Information and Accounting in May of this year. And with his almost perfect GPA, he will inevitably graduate summa cum laude. I hope I'm embarrassing him a little bit up there. As you can see from the list of honors that he has received, that list is contained in your program, he has been recognized in many different venues. Particularly impressive is his study in China of Chinese accounting standards. As China integrates itself into the changing global economy, this particular capability will become increasingly more important. David completed his study abroad experience as a scholarship student with the KSU Confucius Institute. And this spring, David is completing an accounting internship with Deloitte & Touche, a Big Four public accounting firm. Now, before I turn the podium fully over to David, I'd also like us to recognize David's faculty honoree, Dr. Linda Melchery. Linda, please stand. And now I am honored to formally introduce Mr. David Zagoria, the winner of the 2011 Regents Academic Recognition Award at Kennesaw State. David, congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'd like to start out and congratulate all of you. It's a great honor, and I'm very excited to be chosen among you to stand up here. And I'd also like to thank very much my father, my mother, my brother, some of whom were able to be here today, because they absolutely supported me when I didn't deserve to stand up here and win awards, when I was struggling and trying to figure out where I was going in life. And without them, this would absolutely not be possible. Also, I absolutely want to thank the university, the faculty, the Coles College of Business, particularly the accounting faculty, but certainly all of you. I know we're a very large university, but at no point in my time here have I ever felt like I was lost in the sea. I've always received very personal attention and felt very much like I've gotten guidance and direction in both my life and career, whether it was problems, personal, academic, financial. I had professors I could talk to, and particularly Professor Rose, Professor Malgieri, Professor Katzman are here, who I've all had, and were wonderful influences in my time here at Kennesaw. And again, most of all, thank you for this prestigious award and allowing me to speak. There's something that's just terrifying and wonderful about what's about to happen for most of us is that we're graduating, and we're leaving school and entering life. We're charged to make our own way, and perhaps if we're diligent enough, make our own mark. And it's the end of youth in many ways. It's a time when the big tests in life come, and I don't have a study guide. I don't have someone pointing out to me, like, these are the things you really should look at, focus here. And God willing, it's take home, and I can Google the answers. But I know. It's one of those things where, as Herbert Spencer, who's this 19th century philosopher and Renaissance man, but also a biologist, which I really liked. And if you've ever heard anything about evolution, you've probably heard him speak. And what he said is, the great aim of education is not knowledge, but action. And perhaps that's the most crucial for us graduating today. I was asked to speak on lifelong education and told, share from my experience and let people know what I've learned in life going forward. And I thought, well, I'm a kid. What do I really know? I know how to balance debits and credits. I can tell you 5 different ways to deal with depreciation. I know you're very interested. I'm sure the finance majors in here are just getting riled up. But I thought perhaps instead of putting you to sleep, I'd talk about some of the general lessons I've learned. There are a few things I've been fortunate enough to see in my time on this earth that have borne out to be very true and I think apply very generally. The first thing is that doing the right thing and working hard absolutely pays off. I spent a long time when I was going up through school and watching people. I always thought that really what was the important thing. If you were slick and if you could figure out the system, that most certainly life would work out. Maybe cut a corner or two. Who knows? Certainly that would lead to success if you just had the right presentation. And what I've found, what I've seen, what I've observed, both in my own life and in the headlines, is that's a great way to get in trouble. That's a great way to lose respect. That's a great way to maximize your short-term gains and maximize your long-term suffering. And what I've seen instead is the people who are really willing to put in the work, no matter what that looks like, who are willing to toil and struggle and learn and grow, that those are the people who succeed and are respected, both as people and as peers. They're the ones who we admire and look up to, and those are the people that we want to promote and celebrate. So I certainly hope that I'm always willing to work as hard as I'm able, and I hope that you're willing to work as hard as you're able to grow as people, as professionals. The next thing is that I found that it's okay to shoot to be happy. That it's not necessarily, life is not measured in terms of dollars. That there's no magic amount of money where I'm going to be just the best, where I can say, I've made it, I've arrived, this is it. It's a great victory. And so instead, I do find that the material success that I've really deserved, that I've enjoyed, has been fantastic. But that success in treating other people well and focusing on growing as a person, in treating people honestly and dealing with them, in a forthright manner, that's what leads me to be happy. And shooting for that, shooting for respect and being able to absolutely wake up and be proud of who I am and what I do is as admirable and as important a goal as anything else. Success and money will follow. If it's one of those things where, again, I work hard and I do what I'm supposed to and I treat other people well, I cannot help but succeed. But if I don't enjoy who I am and what I do, what's the point? Another thing is, I love the phrase, I know. I love when people start to describe something, no, I know, I got it, I'm with you. And that's a fantastic way to make a fool of myself. That's a great way to walk very confidently into a situation that I actually don't know anything about. It means that I'm going to inevitably have set myself up to fall short of my potential. I simply don't know everything. There's no way that there is a single person who does not have some insight on how to live and work in a way that I don't already have. There's nobody I'm going to meet that's not going to be able to contribute. But I have to be willing to listen. I have to be willing to grow and learn and continue. I'm going to quote Spencer again because he has another one that I'm just a huge fan of. He says, there's a principle, there's a bar against all information. There's proof against all arguments and cannot fail to keep a man in everlasting ignorance. That principle is contempt prior to investigation. I know is the ultimate version of contempt. It says my learning is done. And then the last thing I want to mention is that trust is perhaps the most important thing that I'll have in my life. It's the hardest to develop. It's one of those things where I have to show up and participate and be who I say I am time and time again. And it's the easiest thing to destroy. It's something where I have to consistently act with integrity and in a fashion where I can be proud again of who I am and let people learn that I do what I say. And I cannot fall short of that standard. It's wildly important. One of the things I learned is when my father said he'd be home for dinner, it didn't matter how hard he worked. My father has worked very hard for our family. He would be there. I would see him across the table at some point. And there was no way that I can take anything and give and say there's a lesson I've learned that's more important than when you say you're going to do something, if you care, love, and respect and trust the people in your life, you will be there and you'll do it. So I have to make sure that I never come up short of delivering my promises, that I cannot struggle with that. That has to be the area that I make a priority in my life. So perhaps then what's the takeaway from this rambling? And what I would suggest, what I've learned, again, it's been a short time, there's so much arrayed knowledge and wisdom up here that I feel almost childish and foolish trying to give life lessons, is that if I live life the best that I can, that success will follow me, but much more importantly, happiness will. That integrity does lead to rewards, and that doing esteemable things is a way to value yourself. Never stop learning, and never fail to love the people around you in the life that you have. Congratulations to all of you. You've clearly acquitted yourselves fantastically well in college. Now it's your opportunity to excel, to progress, to grow, and perform in life. Good luck always, and you'll be okay for sure, and perhaps you'll even be wonderful. Thanks.
I talked to David for a few minutes beforehand and he said that he was really nervous. Well, you sure did not appear really nervous. Excellent job. Thank you, David. And not only should we thank David for the words of wisdom, and they were words of wisdom, by the way, so we do thank you. And I think we should all congratulate him one more time. I'll now turn the podium over to the Dean of the University College and Associate Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Ralph Rascotti. Ralph will present the Dual Enrollment Honors Program Award, the Undergraduate Honors Program Award, and the General Education Program.